Tonight we're on Firewatch as flames force residents from their homes west of Helena and in eastern Montana.
Plus, a suit filed today in Montana trying to put an end to all mail ballots. We'll explain.
And later we're hearing from the Great Falls Public Schools Superintendent and DPHHS after an Amber Alert Monday that ended with 2 people behind bars.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Tim McGonigal.
And I'm Keely Van Middendorp. We begin this evening on Firewatch after wildfires burning around the state forced residents from their homes for a short time earlier this evening. In
Lewis and Clark County, authorities say they've made substantial progress against a fast-moving wildfire north of Helena today. The fire started just before 4 p.m. near Birdseye. Strong winds pushed it east. Incident commanders estimate the fire burned about 800 acres. Earlier in the day, residents in the area between Head Lane, Franklin Mine Road, and Green Meadow Drive were evacuated. But as of 8:30, they had been allowed to return to their homes. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian talked to authorities about their response.
Heavy winds made for exceedingly difficult firefighting conditions Wednesday afternoon, and incident commanders say that the fire that started in the Birdseye area could easily have been far worse.
This could have been a very bad fire.
It started around Birdseye Road near the railroad tracks, but within an hour the wind had pushed it far to the east.
As it went through, it did get near quite a few structures. Thankfully, the volunteer crews that are out there really hit those hard and got after them.
About 100 volunteers from departments around the Helena area responded to the fire. DNRC and National Guard helicopters also assisted with the response. Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's deputies drove through several areas, encouraging residents to evacuate.
We were having to do evacuations over the public address system from our cars, and it was so thick that it looked like it was on the houses.
But after the smoke cleared, Canyon Creek Fire Chief Sam Stigman said they found no known damage to homes. One historical structure was damaged, and they're still assessing for other damage. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Stigman said this fire is a reminder of just how dangerous these conditions can be.
In those crazy winds, you know, when they put out a red flag warning, they mean it.
Firefighters will be continuing to mop up hot spots through the overnight hours. Incident commanders say they hope to have the fire fully under control sometime on Thursday. In the Helena Valley, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
MTN's Alexei Aguayo spoke with residents that were evacuated from the Helena fire.
Here he is with more. Alexei.
Hello everyone, I'm near Green Meadow Drive. You can see the smoke behind me here from the fire just behind that tree line near the evacuation area, again south of Lincoln Road, west of Green Meadow Drive. The county has sent out a press release stating that even if you feel uncomfortable, please evacuate. You do not have to wait for law enforcement to evacuate. I did speak with one resident who evacuated, and interestingly enough, she was notified to evacuate through a notification system she signed up for this week.
That was it. I had no time to even think about or process the fact that I was in the middle of this fire, and I just grabbed my animals and I had to, get out.
Selena was able to get her animals, including her horses, out of the property with the help of neighbors. In Helena, I'm Alexei Aguayo, MTN News.
And more fire news tonight out of eastern Montana. Garfield County's Office of Disaster and Emergency Services is posting that Jordan residents can return after the fire skirted the town. The Cohagen area residents still may not return until deemed clear. Now, earlier today, emergency crews ordered all residents to head west out of Jordan just after 3:45 this afternoon. Macone Electric is working on restoring power to the town of Jordan, which had been shut off. Well, strong winds definitely didn't help fire crews earlier today. Meteorologist Grant Garland joins us now. And Grant, fire concerns ignited across our state earlier today. The question on everyone's minds, will we have those same concerns tomorrow?
Well, the good news is we aren't going to be looking at our winds being as strong as they were today. Tomorrow, we saw 59-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Jordan, 44-mile-per-hour wind gusts down towards the capital, 46 in Great Falls as well as Cutbank, and 51 in Havre. We aren't expecting that tomorrow. They could gust between 20 to 30 miles an hour, but we won't have those 50 to 60 mile per hour concerns. Still, though, needing to make sure that we are doing our part to not start any fire. 9 miles an hour right now now outside in Great Falls, 5 in Helena, 8 in Lewistown, 17 still though in Glasgow and Jordan, still breezy out there. Temperatures 53 degrees in Great Falls as well as Havre. Kind of a little chilly out there when I came back in from break. 64 in Helena and 70 in Bozeman. Overall, over the last 3 hours, we've been looking at clouds making their way down towards the south, setting our stage for a clearing trend. 46 degrees tonight in Great Falls, 52 in Helena. Now, a big cool down is headed our way. What does that mean, though, for our Labor Day weekend? Stay tuned for that and more. But for now, back to you.
Thanks, Grant. The Trump campaign and national and state Republican groups filed suit this morning to halt all mail ballots in Montana for the general election. The suit was filed in U.S. District Court in Helena. It asked a judge to block an August order from Governor Steve Bullock that allowed Montana counties to choose whether they could conduct the November 3rd election by mail. County election officials had asked Bullock for the order, saying they had concerns about being able to conduct an election with polling stations during the coronavirus pandemic. Since then, about 40 Montana counties have chosen to do all-mail ballots. That means ballots would be mailed to all registered voters, and they could return them by mail or in person. The suit alleges that Montana does not have enough safeguards in place for all-mail elections. And also in the national spotlight today, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is asking states to begin preparations to distribute a potential coronavirus vaccine as soon as late October. The CDC is offering plans on how to distribute the vaccine and who should get it first. Healthcare and essential workers, long-term care facility residents, and national security populations are at the top of the list. This does not mean the CDC thinks a vaccine will be approved in less than 2 months. The organization's director says he thinks that will happen by the end of the year. It's normal for the federal government to ready distribution networks while scientists are still working on vaccines. The government is hoping to remove any stumbling blocks ahead of time. One would be getting states to grant the permits and licenses that pharmaceutical company McKesson will need to distribute vaccines. The federal government has a contract with McKesson to manage the distribution.
And back here in the Treasure State, the first COVID-19 related death has been reported at the Montana State Hospital located in Warm Springs. Today, the Department of Public Health and Human Services announced a patient of that hospital died Monday due to COVID-19 related illness. The patient was a resident of Lewis and Clark County. The first COVID-19 case at MSH was reported July 17th. Since then, 9 staff and 8 patients have been infected with the virus, totaling 17 cases. DPHHS says the remaining 16 individuals have all recovered, and there are currently no active COVID-19 cases at the state hospital. Last month, MTN News brought you one family's frustrations after learning their beloved brother's last wishes would not be granted. Siblings of Carl Stuckey Jr. say that they were left without answers after their brother passed from COVID-19 related complications. They said Carl and his wife had made arrangements to have his body donated to the Montana Body Donation Program in Bozeman, but his last wish went unfulfilled and Carl was cremated in August. His siblings say they were left wondering why his body wasn't accepted into the program. Mackenzie Fry, program coordinator for the Montana Body Donation Program, told MTN News they are accepting COVID-19 body donations, but she told us the time frame to embalm a donor is crucial and played a role in why Carl's body was not accepted.
The funeral home wasn't able to do the embalming within the appropriate time that we needed.
And O'Connor Funeral Home Director Todd Carmichael said it's up to families to communicate last wishes to them. In this case, they received Carl's request too late to schedule employees who could perform the procedure, which must be done 12 hours after a person passes. He said it's an unfortunate time frame that doesn't allow for last-minute requests while prioritizing employees' health.
We didn't know that that was his wishes until we had sent staffing home for the night. So anybody that's got a weakened immune system, we're not going to want to put them in any kind of a place where there could be a possible exposure to the COVID-19 virus.
And Carmichael says the funeral home has already seen bodies that have tested positive for COVID-19. He said they are better able to fulfill last requests like body donations when they are given enough time to plan ahead.
Well, tonight, for the first time, we're hearing exclusively from Great Falls Public Schools superintendent after a mother illegally takes her 2 children from school and goes on the run. This happened Monday. As we've reported, Isabella Martinez had her kids taken away last month Because of suspected drug use, the kids are safe and Martinez and her boyfriend are behind bars. According to the spokesperson for the State Department of Health and Human Services, the department had not notified the school of the custody status change. He said staff members, quote, have numerous responsibilities but work very hard to keep kids safe. Superintendent Tom Moore says the school district and the Department of Health and Human Services are working together to figure out how they can learn from this.
There's some responsibility on families' parts to do the right thing. There is a responsibility that parents have for their children and grandparents have for their children. And so the lesson to be learned here is that parents need to be responsible.
When asked if changes will be made to procedures to prevent this from happening again, the spokesperson for DPHHS said, if it is appropriate. Some local families in need, hoping to get new clothes for their kids for school or for winter from the Salvation Army, will have to wait just a little longer. The final 2 days of the Great Falls Salvation Army's Back to School event have been rescheduled for next Tuesday and Wednesday because of staffing issues. Today and tomorrow were supposed to be the final 2 days. Clothes can be picked up between 9 and 11 both days next week at the Family Service Center. You will need to bring some form of ID for each child that shows the child's birthday. Coming up on the 10 o'clock news, controversy surrounding proposals for a new National Heritage Area.
That story and more just ahead after the break.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 10 o'clock news.
And welcome back to the 10 o'clock news. Like other segments of American agriculture, it has been a very challenging year for lamb and wool producers.
But as the Montana Ag Network's Russell Nemitz shares, the U.S. sheep industry will receive a much-needed shot in the arm this fall.
Well, sheep producers, both near and far, are very excited that the Hasbrook family of Ault, Colorado, has purchased the Old Rancher's Lamb of Texas processing plant near San Angelo and have renamed it Double J Lamb of Texas. This week I talked with Jeff Hasbrook about their decision, who told me with the loss of Mountain States Rosen, they just felt like they had to do something for their industry.
In our mind, we had to make a decision. Are we going to help the industry, help our customers, or are we just going to sit back and just, let it ride and see what happens?
Montana sheep producers like Ken McCamey of Great Falls are very grateful to have this opportunity, especially as lambs head to market this fall.
It's very important to us, with the Mountain States Rosen plant, they were harvesting 350,000 lambs a year, and so that was a big loss. And so to have this new plant coming on would certainly have a positive impact on the sheep industry.
The Old Rancher's Lamb of Texas plant hasn't been operational since 2005, but the Hasbrook family hopes to have it up and running in a couple of months or so. And in addition to harvesting lambs, they'll actually be able to fabricate there, which is one of the main reasons they reached out about buying the plant.
Well, for us, MSR was a harvest and a fab facility, so they could do it all. The new plant coming online, Colorado lamb processors, that should be coming online here, I would think, anytime soon, within maybe the next month or two. All they can do is harvest. So for us, we kind of saw that might be a little bit of an issue, just because of what MSR did and what we need to do going forward. Yes, new lamb plants coming online in Colorado, but we just felt like we had to have the fabrication, and that was the main reason that we pretty much reached out to the Old Rancher's Lamb facility, and we wanted to get that up and running.
In Billings, Russell Nemitz, MTN News.
Thanks, Russell. Well, the city of Belt is no longer part of an effort to create a National Heritage Area in Cascade County.
After a citizen made a formal request to oppose the heritage area, the city council passed the request. As MTN's Zach Shermley explains, tensions were running high.
Those tensions were on full display at Wednesday night's Belt City Council meeting, with Cascade County Commissioner Jane Weber taking much of the heat.
What relevance is this to Montana?
Weber has been leading the effort to designate the heritage area since 2014. It was one of many meetings held over the past year after a feasibility study was published in June. Still, landowners felt sidelined by a process they say is moving too fast.
A group this size hadn't heard of this, and I hadn't really been aware of it either.
National Heritage Areas, or NHAs, are similar to national parks. They free up federal money to drive tourism and local partnerships in areas of the country with special historical significance. But some landowners in Belt see a problem.
Right now in the United States, there are 55 NHAs. The first one dating back to 1984 in Illinois, and none of them are self-sustainable at this time.
All the fuss is about this, private property. I'm at the Knopp Ranch, a small ranch outside Centerville. Alyssa Knopp, who owns 3,600 acres in Montana, says she's worried about what she sees as federal encroachment on her property. The National Parks Service says the area would have no effect on private property rights, and a report from the Government Accountability Office in 2004 said NHAs have neither a negative nor positive effect on the rights of private property owners.
A lot of fear that has been propagated throughout the rural community. Unfortunately, most of that is unfounded, but I can see where private property owners would be fearful, and it's just simply not true.
In Belt, Zach Shermley, MTN News.
We've reached out to several legal experts in the Belt area for their views on whether the NHA would impact private property rights. You can read their responses on our websites.
Well, tomorrow, waking up around the bus stop forecast, sunny skies, temperatures in the upper 40s. Don't go away. Your 7-day forecast is coming up next.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with Grant Garland.
Oh, welcome back, everyone. I hope that you have had a fantastic Wednesday, ready to tackle on Thursday. Today, we saw temperatures in the mid-80s for a lot of us. 53 degrees in Great Falls, 64 in Helena, 51 out towards Lewistown right now, 59 in Jordan, and 55 in Glasgow. Kind of chilly, actually, outside if you go out there right now. Temperatures that we typically see are right around 76 degrees. The record set back in 1969 when it was 96 degrees. Also, that was the year the Beatles' last public performance was there, 1969. Peak wind gusts today, very windy day in store for us. 43 in Lewistown, 59 in Jordan, 53 in Glasgow, 46 out towards the Electric City, and 44 in the capital. Just all in all, a very breezy day that allowed for fires to move quickly when they started around Birdseye as well as around Jordan. Now, relative humidity, not bad right now. Typically what we see at nighttime, everything starts to, moisture gets to creep back in, but we're still seeing 28% humidity down towards Dillon. Over the last 3 hours, we've been looking at a few scattered showers that have been making their way towards the southeast, out towards Miles City. But we've been seeing clear skies for us here in north central and central Montana. Overall, as we go throughout the day tomorrow, we are going to be looking at an elevated chance for fire weather again. Not quite what we've seen today. That's the good news, but we're still going to have to deal with this. We're looking at west-northwest winds right around 14 miles an hour by 4:30 in the afternoon. And then everything kind of dies down as we go throughout the evening. Overall, we can be expecting 10 to 20 mile per hour wind gusts as we go throughout the day tomorrow, 22 to 25 possible. But at least we're not going to be seeing the upper 50s with what we saw today. Now, the reason why we're looking at calmer weather moving in is because a high pressure ridge is building into the area, and it's going to allow for our temperatures to really warm. That is going to allow us to really get up into the upper 80s, even 90 degrees over the next couple of days into Friday and even on Saturday. So we had new models that came in because the timing of everything, we've had a lot of uncertainty with how things are going to play out for this Labor Day weekend. But just recently updated, we are looking at warming up to around 92 on Saturday. Now earlier we were forecasting around 76 because we were thinking that a front was going to be able to move in. Well, now that's not the case. We're looking at warmer temperatures there. Then 76 on Sunday, 59 on Monday. Certainty on Monday and Monday night, though, our confidence is increasing in terms of being able to see cooler temperatures as well as possibility for some snow in the mountains on the Rocky Mountain front. We are looking at over the next 2 weeks staying relatively cooler than the average for those east of Great Falls. Those west of Great Falls looking at staying a little bit warmer than average. And pretty much we are also looking at staying dry for the most part. You can always stay weather aware by following me at Meteorologist Grant Garland on Facebook and downloading that free KRTV app. Tonight, temperatures 46 degrees in the Electric City, 43 up towards Cupping, 47 in Havre, and 45 in Glasgow. As we walk out the door tomorrow, temperature is going to be right around 47 degrees with sunny skies. You might need a light jacket if you are sensitive to the cooler air. Warming up by 1 p.m. to 78 degrees, by 4 p.m. 84. Overall, temperatures tomorrow 85 in Great Falls, 81 in Havre, and 78 in Glasgow. We are looking at temperatures warming up as we head throughout the next 3 days, but then, well, Labor Day, we're going to see temperatures around 59 degrees with a chance for showers, maybe even a thunderstorm.
Thanks, Grant. Still to come on the 10 o'clock news, gearing up for the season.
We'll take you to Great Falls High for some volleyball preps.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 10 o'clock news.
And welcome back. It's finally September, but Class AA volleyball teams still have more than 10 days before their season openers.
This week, MTN's Isaiah Dunk caught up with Great Falls High.
There's a new feeling around Great Falls High volleyball this fall, and it's not just because of COVID-19 or the late start to games. There's a new coach on the sidelines, one that's not totally unfamiliar to the Bison. It's Taylor Parker, who comes over after being an assistant at CMR last year.
I had to come in and tell them, like, I'm not a spy. I'm here to teach you guys and be with you guys. Like, I'm a Bison now. And so that was a little weird at first, but I really enjoyed it. I mean, just getting to know them. I've always seen them from the other side of the court, and we've had, there's different perspectives and things like that. But just to get to know them on the court has been really fun so far.
It feels like she's been here the whole time. It doesn't feel like she came from somewhere different. And she's just so excited to get to know all of us and to better the program, I think.
Allison Harris is one of 9 seniors on the Bison this year, and that experience is something that Coach Parker says has been helpful as she transitions.
They've honestly been kind of showing me the ropes on a lot of things that I don't know about the school or traditions, things that they do here.
She said this year's squad has a good mix of athletes too, which will help with their schemes.
We have a lot of really tall girls and then a lot of shorter girls. There's not a lot of in between, so we have a lot of hitters and a lot of DS. But I think because they're so experienced, they've been playing with each other for a really long time. They know how each one works, so it's been really nice.
The Bison open play against Belgrade on September 12th. Until then, in Great Falls, Isaiah Dunk, MTN Sports.
Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Temperatures tonight, 46 degrees in Great Falls, 43 in Cut Bank, 47 in Havre. We are walking out the door tomorrow with temperatures around 47 degrees. Sunny skies though, so that's a nice takeaway. Have a nice day with you. 85 degrees altogether for Great Falls, 89 in Helena. A lot cooler out towards Hayes at 76. And as we head throughout the next 3 days, we are going to be looking at temperatures warming up to 92 degrees with partly sunny skies on Saturday before drastic changes are on the way Sunday. This is what we typically see for the time of year. The average 59 though on Monday with a chance for some snow showers on the Rocky Mountain front.
Definitely some good news for our fire concerns. We need that cooler weather.
We do.
Yeah. That's all the time we have tonight at 10. Thanks so much for watching and be safe.
Good night.